The clock is ticking. Former President Trump's legal team only has less than 20 minutes to respond to a DOJ filing against his request for an independent special master for the Mar-a-Lago raid. That's ahead of tomorrow's court hearing on the motion. The DOJ filing claims the feds have evidence that classified files were, quote, likely concealed and removed from a storage room. New photos reveal those documents. Is this as serious as it looks, or is it just more of the same? Joining me now, former CIA officer and Portman Square Group chairman and CEO, Mike Baker. Mike, I'm so glad to avail myself of your knowledge of all this confidential stuff. You saw the pictures.
Good use of the word avail, by the way.
Yes,
millions of viewers now impressed with your word knowledge. And it's good to see you, too, by the way, Tom. It's been ages.
Thanks, Mike. So you saw the photos. Classified documents all over the place. It said classified, and then there was something else like CIS. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do.
Look, this is, I mean, what they've done, obviously, is, they've laid out, to some degree, some of the documentation that they're talking about, the hundreds of documents that they've found so far that had a variety of classifications. So in simple sense, there's three basic types. Confidential, which means if confidential information is classified as such, it will cause harm to national security interests. If it's classified as secret, then the information is essentially deemed as causing serious damage to national security interests. And top secret is considered extremely grave damage, potentially, to national security interests if it gets in the wrong hands. And then you've got other, SCI just means special compartmentalized information. You've got special code word within some of these categories that means only certain people with top secret clearance can read it if they're rated on a type of program, like a nuke program of weapons of mass destruction, whatever it may be. But is this something new? Well, no, because we've been hearing in dribs and drabs from the DOJ that, this is all about documents. So you can't really argue it's something new. We're just seeing a photo that shows some of these documents that they're talking about.
Yeah, and also, how many people are allowed to classify these things? I mean, I imagine there's a lot of people who have the authority to stamp these things classified, and it's always basically a judgment call, isn't it? When they say there's all these classified materials, we don't know how classified they are. And, I'm guessing that most of this stuff is just, it shouldn't be classified. What do you think of that?
Well, it depends. Look, you don't want to play games with classification because a lot of this information is really critical to our national security interests. You can argue, however, and it has happened over years, that sometimes the classification process throws a large net out there, particularly when we're talking about confidential or secret. Top secret and certainly, special code word access, that's a different game. That's a very serious information. But you can argue that a lot of documents can get classified just in sort of the zeal of doing that because, why not? It was like when we had a watch list for people who were flying after 9/11. Rather than, going through the hard work of taking an individual, doing all the background work, we just threw a bunch of people on there and it caused problems. But with this, look, two things can be true at the same time, right? The president, any president, shouldn't be taking presidential records, government-owned material, classified material, out with them when they leave the administration, when they depart the White House. That can be true. That shouldn't happen. And the other thing that could be true is the DOJ, could well have overreached here and have done this intrusive effort and completely botched up this effort by not apparently understanding just what a firestorm the search of a former president's home would have, and they seemed completely unprepared to deal with the aftermath of this. And so this has gotten far worse than it needed to be. They probably could have found a less intrusive way of doing this, for sure. But once they decided to do this search, then they should have been prepared to be more transparent, to tamp down all the speculation, because both sides are just speculating left and right now about what this all means. And most people, very few people, actually have the details. But I blame the DOJ for not understanding, just apparently, how serious this was going to be and what they needed to do to try to, minimize this blowback.
Yeah, it was clumsy. And then after there was a firestorm, they all started doing the CYA. And that's what I think they dribs and drabs. And they're showing these photographs. I mean, a bunch of documents on the floor marked confidential. I mean, it looks very silly. Mike, thanks so much. Great segment.
Sure.